Hi everybody, I am Husky Light. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your subscribes. Google Plus is everything. I really appreciate it. I have had a lot I did the angel cards last week and they were all a bit doom and gloom, and there's a lot of stuff going on around us at the moment. I felt it all week. I had a crappy week. A lot of you did. And I've had a few emails from people as well this week that have started to go through the awakening, and they're in Night of the Dark Soul and they're having a really bad time with it, and usually if they come through to me for help, I will try and go through as many points and that they've emailed me and try and explain things to them and try and help them and go through the email with them and do them a video basically. And now I've done this for somebody this morning, and I've got my guides and my angels going, share it, share it, share it. So I'm going to share it. I'm obviously in a very sharing mood. I'm sharing my private readings as well this week, but I think there's a lot of it's an awful lot of information in there actually, because I went through an awful lot of different points. But for somebody who is going to come across it, who needs to see it at whatever point in time they come across it, this video, then it's going to be important to them and it's going to help them. It may help some of you. It may not help any of you because you're already wide awake and you know, and you already feel the energies and you know what's going on. There's a lot of examples within the video of things that can happen to you if the dark side is knocking at your door, as well as, you know, what the light can do to help you as well. So I'm going to share it with you. I've got no makeup on. I look a right mess. I'm doing a private video for somebody, so I really wasn't expecting to really share it. For those of you who get readings from me and tarot readings from me, there'll be times when I've got my dressing gown on and no makeup doing the tarot cards for you. So it's a little bit different when you do things privately than on YouTube. But hey, this is one of those times where so it is directed at the subscriber that's come through to me for help. Her name isn't mentioned. Her privacy is completely covered. I would never put anyone in danger or let anybody's identity out at all. But I said a lot of things and she said a lot of things that have come out in the video that I feel could benefit a lot of people at different times as to whenever they see this. So I'm putting it out there. Okay, so it is very long. It's like 1 hour and 10 minutes or something. If you're going to watch it, get a cuppa and sit down and watch it. See what resonates with you, see what doesn't. You might get some aha moments and go, now I know why that's happening to me. But we'll see. So hopefully it will help. Okay, namaste. Hi love. Hi, I hope you're well. Right, I'm going to do a video, try and get through some of the stuff that you've been going through, try and give you some examples of my own as well to help you know that you're not crazy, that you're not going through it alone. And yeah, it is. I've got no makeup on, ignore me. Don't ignore me, I need to say quite a lot to you. But let's make a start. I might actually put this up on YouTube depending on how it goes, because I've had quite a lot of emails recently from people just like you who I honestly think you're going through Night of the Dark Soul, and there's really crazy stuff going on, and it was really interesting to read all of your messages, as tough as they are for you going through them at the moment. I went through it all as well, and when I read that somebody else is going through it or has been through it, it also validates things that I've been through in the past, which means I'm not crazy either, which I never thought I was, though I did go through periods of thinking I was right at the beginning, and it makes a lot of sense. So right, let's make a start of this. I'll try and make as much sense of it and help as I can. So since you were a little, I'm going to read because I'm going to have to go through each point here. Since you were a little girl, you had the electric energy and you were scared of it and you blocked it off, and you're having so many electrical problems now, like your light bulbs are blowing up and burning, replacing the washing machine, the oven, the toaster, computer buzzes when I touch it, the phone is playing up, can't use anything, and it is a very expensive gift, or it can be a very expensive gift. As you know from my video on being a slider, you are a slider like me, and yes, I have blown up the toaster, I have had the washing machine break down on me several times, I've had the dishwasher break down on me, I've had fuses blow in my car, and it is this electrical energy. And I do remember actually when I was a kid, whenever I had a long nightie on, I know it was nylon, which does it as well, but I used to be able to pull on it and there'd just be electric sparks coming off. And I saw dead people when I was a kid. I saw a lot of things when I was a kid which I blocked off, and I blocked them off for years and years and years, and I probably went down, in fact I did go down a lot of wrong paths, because I switched off my spirituality deliberately. I blocked it, I couldn't cope with it, I didn't know what to do with it, didn't know how to handle it, I was very young, and it's been a constant, it was a constant battle. I was cursed as well when I was younger, out in Honduras, and another story. The electrical problems, as I explained in the video, you have a lot of static, you have a lot of electricity, a lot of nerve endings in your body, which is causing this to happen. You're just firing them off left, right and centre. It is your emotions and your thoughts have a huge part to play in it, probably more your emotions than your thoughts with the electrical stuff. What you need to do is tell them to back off. Your guides, your angels, everyone who's trying to get messages through to you, there is a lot of stuff that you need to do to start to be able to calm down. You are going through Night of the Dark Soul. So with regards to electrical stuff, I need you to tell whoever is coming through to you at the moment, they need to slow down and they need to back off. And you need to do this out loud, obviously not when your husband's around, but you need to stand there and, you know, in the middle of everywhere and say, look, I am not coping with this at the moment, it is going too fast, there's too much information coming through to me, you need to back off. And you need to do this in a slower, gentler way in order for me to understand what I'm going through and what is happening. You need to give me time to absorb information and integrate the downloads that I'm getting into my DNA, into my soul, into my mind, my body, my spirit, everything. You need to slow down. You need to firmly believe and know that you are, to a certain extent, in control of your thoughts and your fears, and the way you are thinking. That is the key to fixing this. This is the key to getting through it. Okay, when we wake up, without us I didn't realise what I was going through at all. I really didn't. It was a very difficult time for me, and I didn't realise I was waking up. I didn't realise what was happening. It took me a while to start being guided to the messages and start to listen to things properly, to realise and to learn. And to us, I'm a twin flame as well, so to learn what the hell is a twin flame, what's that got to do with me, what the hell, and start to learn. And I've done nothing but research and learn for the past year now, and I always will do, because everything that I explain in my videos, everything that I do on YouTube is as a result of what experiences that I'm going through, energies that I feel connected to the higher consciousness. So you need to tell them to back off with the electrical stuff. It is expensive, and you also need to not think about it. So every time you walk into a room and think, oh my God, is that light bulb going to blow? You've got to stop it. You have to stop it and change your train of thought. You're going to walk into a room and say to yourself, that light bulb is going to last forever. That light bulb is fine. Don't even mention the word that it's going to blow. Just say to yourself, everything is fine. My lighting is fine. My technical, electrical appliances are all fine. They're working perfectly. They're good. I used to get on Skype, and depending on who I was talking to and their energy, I couldn't do it. It would freeze up. It would go fuzzy. It would break down completely, until I learned, and it's mostly your feelings. It was me having an effect on things and me thinking it. So you have to stop thinking it. Everything's working fine. There isn't a problem. Everything is wonderful. Everything is beautiful. Control your emotions. Take lots of deep, calming breaths. And when I say breathe, I mean deep breaths through your nose. And actually, as you're breathing that air in, bring your stomach out and let it go straight into your stomach. And you're breathing in light. Breathe in light. Breathe out love. Breathe in light. Breathe out love through your mouth. So in through your nose and out through your mouth. So it's the circular motion that you've heard about. And keep doing that as many times a day as you need to get yourself grounded and to get yourself balanced. Okay, your thoughts need to be balanced out. So that's the electrical part of it. What else have we got? Let me go through your emails, and I've got the dream that you've sent me through as well, which I will go through. You don't need the nut house. You're not crazy. You have extreme special gifts which you need to learn to get under control and use to your advantage, and not let their gifts control you. Okay, because it can go two ways. If your emotions are out of whack, if your thoughts are out of whack, those energies are just going to swoop in and start controlling you, and not in a good way. So we've sorted out the electrical stuff. You have to trust in the universe. You have to trust in your guides and angels and start to listen. And also, when you're listening to your guides and angels, we know that there is a dark side and a light side, and a lot of people always think that if they ignore the dark side and just say positive, positive, positive and wonderful, everything's going to be okay. And to a certain point it is, but in order to see the light, sometimes we have to see the dark, and we have to have that breakdown to get that breakthrough. So we do have to be aware of it, but that doesn't, just because we're aware of it though, does not mean that we're going to allow it to overtake us or overshadow us and control us. We are going to stay in the light because we are light. Okay. So I don't want you to, I want you to try not using candles to have a shower. I actually, 5-10 minutes before you go and have your shower, just start thinking positive thoughts to yourself. The light bulbs are fine, everything is fine. Don't even mention the word that it's going to break down or it's going to blow. Just say my electrical appliances are working perfectly, my light bulbs are working purposefully and good, everything is fine. And you told your guides and angels to back off a little bit. You also need to do meditations to cut cords, which I'll go into a little bit later, but you need to do that. That is part of the dark energy. As soon as your crown chakra opens up and your third eye and all your chakras are opening up, you are starting to release fears and doubts, conditioning, programming that's been put on you over the years. It all starts to be brought up, and as those thoughts are coming out and as it's being brought up to be cleared, because you're in control of your thoughts as well, but you don't know it, and we do need to clear stuff, you're going to get other stuff, dark stuff coming in as well, going, oh, she's open, let's get in there, let's fly in there. You need to cut cords. There is a lot of meditations on YouTube about cutting cords. Literally what I do whenever I feel agitated, or I feel like something's wrong and things are starting to go wrong, or things are starting to happen, I will close my eyes, take a few deep cleansing breaths, get myself into a calm centered space, and I just imagine I'm a ninja. A 45-year-old white ninja, okay, but it's the you know, it's the visualization of the thing. I just imagine that I've got a couple of swords in each hand, and I'm literally going whoosh 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 whoosh, and I am cutting all these cords off that are all around my body that may have attached themselves to me, that are bad thoughts from other people, darker energies. Other people are doing it subconsciously, and they're just attaching cords here, there and everywhere to you. So especially when you've been out, even if you're out shopping, you are mixing with other energies, and everything is a vibration, which I'll go into as well. So cut cords, just close your eyes, deep cleansing breaths, and imagine that you are just cutting cords from all over you with these two swords, and they're gone and they're done with, and you are clear of them. Also, after that, I would imagine myself in a huge bubble of light, which whatever colour actually seems more appropriate for you, which is good for you, which feels good for you. For me, it's either white light or gold light, or sometimes light like a pink bubble. All of these are nice calming colours. Pink is incorporated with your heart chakra, so it's love. White is the highest goodness from your crown chakra. Light blue as well is your third eye and your throat chakra, and it's about truth and honesty. So whichever colour, as long as it's not black, as long as it's not black or red or yellow or orange, because they're your lower chakra colours, as long as it's not one of those that you're surrounding yourself with, then it's good. Once I've done that and surrounded myself with light as well, if it feels particularly bad, I will imagine, and I've given a lot of people this advice and it seems to work, I will put, like, you know, the long tall mirrors that you the old style ones that you get dressed in front of, the full length mirrors. I will just imagine a whole row of them surrounding me in a complete circle around me, but the mirrors are facing outwards. For God's sake, don't point them inwards, because you'll just reflect your own fears and doubts back at yourself. They are reflecting outwards, so that any more cords that want to come in, any more energies that you don't want around you, they are going to just bounce right off the reflection of the mirrors. So it's not going to happen. Okay. Also, because you have done this, you've got anything bad's just reflecting back, and it's just bouncing back to them. And you might see it causing trouble for them, but it's just their own fears reflected back at them. If it's people, your good energies, your energies for your highest good, your guides and angels that are coming through to help you and to guide you, and your higher self, your spirit guides and everything, they are coming down through your crown chakra and through your body that way. So they're coming from straight up above, and always when you're breathing in light and you're breathing out love, you only want the best possible guidance and messages coming through to you, and say this to yourself, only from guides and angels that are truly for your highest good, that are here to honestly and lovingly guide you on your path. So I'm going to need a cuppa after this one. Right. You have mentioned things like animals trying to talk to you. Squirrels, spiders, crows, slugs, caterpillars, definitely. When I started to wake up, I was with somebody that I shouldn't have been with, who was actually very dark, and had dark energies around them, but of course I didn't know. But every time I went to their house, there was actually dead butterflies around the house on the floor and in different rooms, and I could find, there was sometimes I could find 6, 7, 8 dead butterflies in one day in this house. And it was during the summer, it was during the winter. I'd find them half alive, which obviously is during the winter, and they were dying off, but I'd find them like in the middle of winter when they should have died off long ago, because they don't last unfortunately they don't live for very long. And I'd try and put them in a box and help them to keep warm, but it wouldn't work obviously, because you know they need to go. But even in summer there would be some that are just dead, and they'd just be, oh, it was horrible. And that should have told me, but it took a long time to get that through to me that there's something seriously wrong here. You don't find this many dead butterflies every time you go to somebody's house. It's just not normal. Ugh. And I got a big shiver then. Usually when my guides and angels, when I'm speaking the truth and saying, I will get the big shiver down my neck and my shoulders, so I know that what I'm speaking is true. Anyway, spiders, when I went through Night of the Dark Soul, and afterwards as well, and I still do it sometimes, I saw spiders everywhere. I saw images of spiders, I saw actual spiders, a lot to do with webs. I even saw lower density creatures as I was waking up, that were sort of coming up from the depths of wherever the hell they were coming from, and they were just very, very dark. It was a very dark shape, and it was a spider. And I remember watching it, and I'm literally not kidding, it was about this big, and it was in my dog's basket, and under a table, and it was dark in the room and everything, thank goodness, but I just watched it, and I watched it sort of raise up on its legs and shuffle round and go down again. And I sort of watched it with fascination, thinking, what the hell am I looking at the moment? And I was trying to work it out logically, and I couldn't, obviously. I thought, this is whatever it is that I'm looking at. I wasn't particularly scared of it, but I'd obviously manifested it somehow as I was going through dark stuff and bringing up stuff from my lower chakras. So in the end, I actually did a bit of research and found out what it was, and it is like a lower density creature that can manifest, and they're not particularly malicious either, because they have no brain, they have no feeling, they have no consciousness as such. It's just something that you can manifest. So it wasn't there to particularly do me any harm, it was just to let me know that I was going through lower chakra energies, trying to sort through them. So in the end, I think I saw it a couple of times. I saw it once in my dog's basket, I saw it in my bedroom as well. And I just said to myself, yep, I've seen you, I've acknowledged you, you can't do me any harm, you can leave now. I know what the message is. So crows, I see a lot of crows when I've got messages coming through, usually when it's important messages. Crows are messengers from the dreamlike state. They bring dreams to you, they bring magical messages through to you. If you ever see a crow, look up the meaning of the crow, the spiritual meaning of a crow, to see what sort of messages are coming through to you. It's no good getting messages through sometimes and then thinking for the rest of the day, I'm sure I'm getting a message, but I have no idea what. You need to research it, and you need to look it up, because we don't know automatically all the answers. Once you've learnt it, then you know what a crow brings. You know that a crow brings magical, sort of sometimes darker messages and dreamlike messages through to you, and they are warning you of something that's coming up. Butterflies that are alive and well is talking about your freedom. He's talking about you metamorphosizing from a caterpillar into a butterfly. Gone through spiders. Gosh, slugs and squirrels, that's not one of mine. I've not seen those particularly. Hawks, I see a lot of hawks, and I went through a period of seeing owls, nothing but owls. They were on people's jumpers, they were on the front of notebooks, they were on the telly, they were coming up on YouTube. Everybody that seemed to walk past me had an owl on them somehow, staring at me, and it was ridiculous. It got to the most ridiculous point where it was, God, 10 times a day, several times a day. And it wasn't coincidence, it was just ridiculous. I got sick of seeing them. But until you actually figure out what the message is that's coming through to you and what they're trying to tell you, they just keep coming at you until you get it. And eventually I did get it. Obviously, as I was waking up, I started to learn that as well as light, there is a dark side to things, and they were trying to teach me about the darker side of things. Owls are wisdom, and they're wonderful creatures, and they're amazing, but because I was still with somebody who had very dark energies, they were trying to tell me, stay away from him, get the hell away from him, he's wrong. And I actually learned he was a Freemason, which is about the worst person you could go out with, being a light worker. But again, I wasn't awake. I had no idea of all this. I was very materialistic. I had a huge ego, and I was asleep. I was dumbed down, so I didn't know. So the owls are all about wisdom, but they can also be. It is very much an Illuminati symbol of wisdom and the pyramid, and the darker forces and the new world order that's coming in. A lot of what you will be seeing now and going through will be warnings saying, wake up, this is what's happening with the world. This is a program that we are in. We have been programmed. You are coming out of the programming. You are coming out of the illusion. And as you come out of the illusion, you will see stuff. So that's that. Shooting stars or lights in the sky. I don't know what they are. I saw once in one night, and it was one night only. I was travelling to Ireland to the ferry. I saw 5 or 6 shooting stars, one after the other, in the sky above me. I don't think they're dark energies. Whatever these lights are in the sky, whether they be extraterrestrial or even illusion or something, I don't think they're particularly malevolent, bad. I think they are lights. I think they are showing you that you are the light, to wake up, to pay attention. I would keep looking, ask your guides and angels for what it is you have seen, and look for them, think, and do some research, and you will come across the answer to them which makes the most sense to you. Bless you, you're going through so much stuff, and I went through so much as well. You say that no medium or tarot reader has ever been able to give you a reading. That is because you've been completely blocked, because you closed yourself down. If somebody cannot read you, a psychic or a tarot reader cannot do a reading for you, it's because you are just totally blocked. You've got a load of barriers in front of you, and you're like, no, not having it. You need to think through your heart and not through your mind in order to get rid of the barriers and open yourself up to love and peacefulness, happiness, unconditional love. You need to start to think through your heart and not through your head. You need to get rid of the little voices in your head, the ones that are, I don't know how many thoughts we think a day, it's thousands. You need to quieten your mind, which is why I sent you the meditation, which is amazing. There's loads of others on there as well on YouTube. They will smack you in the face until you pay attention to what they're trying to tell you. I cannot tell you exactly what your guides and angels are trying to tell you, other than you are starting to wake up, as far as I can see or read from what is happening to you. Sorry, I had to cut off for a minute there. Something else I just wanted to mention as well, you will find that when if you are on the right path, if you're doing the right thing, you're doing everything good, you will find sometimes, especially if you're in the middle of doing something good, something will interrupt you, somebody will interrupt you, the phone will ring, somebody will be at the door, something will come in and try and distract you, and it'll come in via person, telephone call, message, my dogs, all sorts of different things to try and delay you or distract you from what you're doing. And I've just got a text at exactly that moment, did you hear it go off, to try and distract me from when you're trying to help somebody. So things like that happen as well, and you just have to become aware of it and learn that, you know, that person obviously doesn't know what I'm doing and they've just texted me, but darker energies sometimes, or darker things, just use other people as a conduit, as a way of bringing things through and bringing messages through. And if you're on the wrong path as well, you can get distracted as well by things, or delayed by things, equally so by your guides and angels coming in and saying, hey, stop it, you're on the wrong bit, get off that path, you're not looking at the right thing. So it can go both ways. I believe I just got text through at that point. Right, let me put the camera down, go back to your emails, which now all, because I've all disappeared. I'll see where I'm up to now. So you see how it works up to a point, and you just once you become aware of it, you actually start. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes when the dark stuff comes in and starts trying to distract you or get you off your path, when you become to recognize it so well, you just sort of look at it and go, really? No, not happening. Not happening at all. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know that I'm on the right path. I know I'm going in the right direction. I know what I'm doing is loving and compassionate and right, and you're not going to get me off the path, and you'll recognize it for what it is. You won't get distracted, and you'll just carry on. And it just comes in all sorts of ways. Right, and now I've lost where I'm up to, which is fine, because I'm just going to carry on, and I'm going to find it again. Right, so we've gone through the animals. So you've got dark energy and light energy coming through to you while you're going through the awakening process, and your chakras are opening up, because you'll then, once your chakras are open up, you're open to everything coming in. It's at this point that you have to start learning very quickly and being aware of what's going on, to keep the light coming through and not let the darkness in. And light blocks out light. The light blocks out darkness, as always, and it always does. You just shine your light on it and it will go away. And eventually, once you get to a certain vibration and you get high enough, it comes in less and less and less, till it just ends up being little text messages here and there, little things that will try and interrupt you, not big catastrophic things like lights blowing and fuses blowing and things like that. It all goes through your feelings and what you're feeling. Any sort of crystal you can keep on and about you is good. I wear amethyst, my amethyst necklace, which absorbs energies, darker energies, and it keeps me safe and it keeps me protected. Black tourmaline, if you can get hold of a piece of black tourmaline, that's also really, really good. I just carry that around with you all the time. and your magnetic stone. I've got two of them and I can't remember the name of them, but they're excellent as well. So you're right about keeping crystals around you or under your pillow or in your pocket. My little dog's got cancer, and I've recently learned that they've known about the cures for cancer for friggin' years, but it's such a big, expensive industry that keeps paying out and keep paying out to the health industry, because you have to keep paying out for treatment and that. They're not going to release the cures, and I don't think all the money that goes towards cancer cures is actually going to cancer cures. It's going in different directions. It's just all an illusion. But you know, I learned about sea kelp, seaweed, ginger, being fantastic cures and preventative medicines towards cancer, but also these magnetic stones. I will have to find the name of them, but they're very, very dark grey shiny ones, and I've actually got them in my dog's basket because she's got a mass which apparently is inoperable that they've just recently found. So I've put these underneath in a blanket, so she's lying on them, and she actually seems to just be starting to get a lot more energetic and better and a bit perkier. So whether it's working or not, I just have to believe that it is, and if I believe that it is, then it will, because you have control over your thoughts, and once you start to become awake, you realise that you are a co-creator in things. Right, where are we up to? Yeah, they will drive you sane and till you start to just get on your path and start researching things and learning things and listening to your guides properly and not freaking out when things happen. Just keeping as calm as you can and keeping the energies around you calm, telling them to back off. I'll go through the dream in a minute. You said that this is amazing that you've actually said this, and I'm so glad you did, because I've been looking for answers on this particular one and I still can't give you the answer to it, but at least it's happened to somebody else. I spoke in my sliders video about my phone being off and this message appearing in big bold letters on the front of it: the universe will never give you more than you can handle. What I didn't put in that video at the time was immediately after I got that, I had an eye, Horus, the pineal gland, the eye of Horus appear on my phone, which then changed into the most beautiful eye I've ever seen. It was just a left eye. It was blue. It was perfectly shaped. It was stunning. And then after that, I started having dreams of twin flames, and I was having downloads of twins and being separated at birth and all sorts of things, and that started me on the twin flame route, and realising that the guy that I'd split up from was my twin flame, and that started on a whole new direction. But it also brought, we all wake up in different ways, and as we're waking up we become aware of the certain path that we're on. Some of us are on a twin flame path, some of us are on and we're all here to teach something, help other people wake up, spread love and light, and we all do it in different ways. You could be completely a tarot card reader, an holistic healer, you could have a completely normal job, you could be that's not a normal job, but you could be a nurse. Jobs which are helping and caring. You know, you're not trying to sell insurance to somebody, or you're not working for the government, things like that. You will do your own job in your own way to bring light and happiness to the world and peace. And as you wake up, you will realise which path you're being directed into. I say I'm on the twin flame path, and I read angel cards and I read tarot cards as help, because I work off the energies of the moon. I work off the astrology energies, even though I don't know anything about astrology particularly. I know that whatever the energies are around me, if I was actually to go and look up what are the energies at the moment, it ties in completely with whatever astrology wise is going on. So I don't even have to know. Particularly, I just go off the full moon and the new moon energies, and when I need to start working on co-creating and manifesting things, and when I need to pull back and what I need to concentrate on, when I need to let go of things, things like that. So you will come to know, and I think everybody works off the energies, the astrological energies, and even when I'm doing my tarot cards and my angel message, obviously that comes through, the energies come through those cards as I'm reading them. So you will figure out what your own way is, because you're attracted to me in particular, because obviously my messages have resonated with you. The video on the sliders resonated with you, and you saw that I've gone through things that you're going through. You may be on a twin flame path, I don't know, you may be on a healer path. It's something that will be revealed to you as you go along your path. You might be part of the same soul group as me and on the same sort of life path as me. And I've come across quite a few people recently through doing YouTube and connecting with subscribers and people all over the world that are attracted to me or are coming towards me, and I resonate completely with them because we're in the same soul group, we're coming from the same higher consciousness, we're getting the same messages through, and that's how it tends to work. So I've got a really sore shoulder. So please try not to get confused or frustrated, because the more confused and frustrated you get, the more you're going to have the dark side and the stuff going off and your light bulbs blowing and things like that. You said that you'd seen my power angel messages from last week, which were, yeah, and we still got those energies around, and you've got the same point of view. Right, coming to the interesting point was you found a message from me on your WhatsApp. Is that on your WhatsApp? A WhatsApp text message from me, and you couldn't read it because it decided not to work properly. That was probably a direct message from your guides and angels telling you to get in touch with me, because obviously I didn't send you a WhatsApp message at the time. I didn't know who you were. How could I send you a message? It's not possible. But I went through that as well, say with the Eye of Horus and everything on my phone, but I actually have seen things around me that I know damn well are not there. I have seen text messages on somebody else's phone mentioning the guy, that my twin flame, and I'm reading them thinking, oh my god, he's in touch with my twin flame, what the hell's going on, why and I didn't question, but I read it and it was there. But it's actually you manifesting these things. It's actually your guides and your angels coming through with these messages saying, listen, 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 see it. And my twin flame's name was actually within the text, making it sound like they were in touch. But what it was trying to say to me was, this is your twin flame, get away from this other person, it's dangerous, stop it. And it's just come through in the most amazing ways. If you've got a text from me that you couldn't read but you knew it was from me, and obviously I didn't send it, that is another way of your guides and angels coming through in a very, very strong way, to say, get help if you don't understand what's going on and you've come for help. And hopefully this will now set you on the path to understanding things yourself and learning and beginning to understand the path that you're being guided along. You're not the only person I've had messages of this week. There has been such crazy energies going around. there's been quite a lot of this going on, not with text messages as extreme as that, but it's really good to know that somebody else has gone through that, actually, because I went through it, and that's the only thing I can come up. It really is your guides and angels just smacking you in the face. So wake up. And you saw, yeah, I bloody saw your name on it this morning, but it really wasn't on my phone. Yeah, exactly. It's astounding sometimes and amazing. I really, really wish you could get right down to nitty gritty and one of my guides and angels come through and say, this is how we do it, this is how it works, this is what's happening. I would love that, because I'm an air sign as well. I have to know the answer. I want to know the answer to everything. This is why I do so much research, in order for me to understand, but then to be able to help others understand what's going on in the world. So the other thing that you have said, yeah, your husband thinks you're crazy, and he will do for a while. Unfortunately, the only thing you can do is tone it down in front of him. He's not going to understand if he's not waking up or awake. He will wake up eventually if you're on the awakening path, and especially if it's a twin flame relationship, you will be able to sort of catalyst and wake him up as well. But I've come to learn you can't do that by pushing them, trying to convince them that what's happening to you is real. Especially, I bet he's an atheist. I bet he don't believe in any of this stuff, because my twin flame is, and it makes it worse if you push them, because they can't cope with it and they just think you're crazy. They are still asleep and they only have one perspective of looking at things, and if there is anything outside of the normal sphere of the way they look at things, as you would have done at times before you woke up, it's not normal, it's crazy. They cannot get their head around it, they cannot comprehend it, understand it, and they will shut down, and that's it. There's no amount of convincing or anything else. The more you do that, the more they look at you and think you are crazy. So you need to back off from that and just know you can talk to me, you can email me, you can do your research and everything. Very slowly you will start to normalize in the eyes of others. You may also find that friends that you've got or had, you will start to move away from because you just don't want to be with them. You start to not be able to understand where they're coming from, and you will start to become more and more isolated. Try not to do that with your husband. If you try and tell him everything and try and tell him everything that's going on around you, you're isolating yourself from him. So just don't speak to me, speak to somebody else, do your research, try and keep things calm and as happy as you can between you and your husband and your children, which is something else. So I'm so glad you saw that. I know, I'm sorry, it must have really freaked you out. I know it freaked me out when I saw things like that. It's been the last 2 or 3 months. Do you know, for me, it has taken, since waking up, which is pretty much, it's about a year now. It was December last year, I think, when I started on YouTube. And at that point I was only just waking up. I was still going through, and I've still gone through crazy things this year and not understood anything. It's only over the past few months I've started to learn and understand and realise and have the downloads of what's really happening to me, and being guided to what I needed to be guided to, and this is how they do it. And yes, sometimes you will have witnesses. Sometimes you will see things, or something will happen and somebody else will see it, and you'll go, oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? What's going on? You saw it too, didn't you? And you know that's happening. And yes, they did. But if they're not awake themselves, they will put it down to coincidence. They will think that you're making too much out of it. they will not, again, they will shut down because they don't understand what has happened, and it's a block that they will put in, and they might think to themselves, oh, that was really weird, how on earth did that happen? But they will talk themselves out of it. They will talk themselves into thinking, yeah, it was coincidence, it was a I'm tired, I'm seeing things, somehow it didn't happen. They will talk themselves out of it. So again, don't think about that too long about with other people, because they will forget about it as well. They will block it out so much that they just simply forget about it. You will find as you're waking up, you get more and more intelligent, as in you don't forget anything. You can forget where you put your car keys, and you can be a bit scatty, and you will be very scatty actually while you're waking up. But once you've got through it, you seem to go through to a whole new level of intelligence. Whereas if you just thought you were quite normal before and you weren't all that bright and you were just like everybody else, you sort of find yourself moving above that. It's because the right area of your brain, the creative area of your brain, is opening up with your crown chakra. Your pineal gland, your third eye is opened. There is like in between both halves of your brain, there's like a membrane which actually starts to dissolve as your body is changing, as your DNA is changing, and it starts to dissolve, and almost joins. I don't think I think if somebody took a brain scan or something, it might not show it, but you learn the left and the right hand side of your brain are starting to sort of fuse a little bit together. You're using your right brain a whole lot more because you're coming out the programming, because all the programming that you've gone through all your life has been your left brain. Memorize things, spew them out. That's how you learn things. Just memorize. Use your logical side of the brain. Use your logic all the time. Forget about this side of the brain. It has no meaning. But this is all opening up. You will start to use your left brain more and more. You will know things, and know things that are true without knowing how you know them. It's just it's your cognizance, and cognizant. You will start absorbing information, and it just comes down, and you integrate it into you, and you just know, but you don't know how you know. This is what is happening to you at the moment, and it's getting that balance. When we talk about yin and yang, light and dark, all of that sort of thing, getting your male and female balanced up inside you, this is what it's referring to. Getting everything balanced out, and you will come down, and you're in your spiritual bit, and you go through your awakening, and you could completely go off with the fairies on this spiritual path. And there's a point, and you learn and learn and learn, and research and research and research, and then there will become a point where you start to come back into physical a little bit. You've moved up from 3D, you're going up to 4D, 5D, etc. You've moved up from there, you're out with your lower chakras, but there will become a normalizing, a harmonizing between your physical and your logical, and your day-to-day life and your spiritual side, and it will balance itself out. Everybody works on 5 senses. You have suddenly found now that you are now got this extra sense, this 6th sense that you're working from, and that is what is guiding you. That is what you were working with. That's what you will always work with, even more than the other 5 senses. What you feel, what your third eye is seeing, what your crown chakra is telling you, what your guides and angels. You will come to a point where you just completely trust in the universe and your guides and angels, and listen to them completely to guide you. It's at that point things really start to balance out. You know what's light, you know what's dark, you know what to avoid, you know what to go for, you know where to be guided, you know who's talking to you sort of higher consciously. If it's you guys and angels, or it's something else trying to get in, you become a knower of all of that, a master of that. And when you come to that point, you're sort of a master at it, and it does get easier. but we still, if the energies are high out there, if the moon energies, the astrological energies, if we've got T-squares going on, full moons, Mercury in retrograde, Venus in retrograde, with, you know, difficult stuff that going in, then you're going to feel those energies, and then you have to learn to work with them to your advantage as opposed to against you. If you can feel dark, depressing energies coming through, you know something's going on up there. But you also know that instead of falling back down into the deep, dark depths of either depression, 3D life, complete normalcy, going back to sleep, you start to recognize and see them for what they are, and the illusions for what they are, and think, yeah, I need to work above this. This is going to be difficult this week. Like I explained in my angel messages, and now I'm going to work above it. I'm completely aware of what's going on, and I know how to counteract it or keep things as balanced as I can. Doesn't mean to say that, you know, well, the stuff isn't going to happen and come in, because of course it does, and everything happens for a reason, and every action has a consequence, but it makes things a lot easier, and the higher you get, the less hassle you get from anything darker or trying to come in. Blimey, where am I up to? As I say, bless you, because you're going so much. Right, time. I love this one because I can do it too. And if this does go out on YouTube, everyone's going to think I'm mad, and I don't care, because I'm not. You can slow down time if you're running late. I can do that as well. I have been on Skype before now, and I've watched it speed up. Actually, I've watched the seconds on it, and it's just gone woo and speeded up, and it's done it for a minute or so, and I'm like, and I've had witnesses. I've been on with somebody who is also spiritual, and we both watched it and gone, oh, wow, why is the time speeding up? The time's just gone completely nutty. When I am late for an appointment or a doctor's appointment or something, and I'm in the car, and I know that it's going to take me 20 minutes to get there, and say my appointment is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I didn't leave till 10 to. I know that I'm not going to be there till 10 past, and I'm going to be late for the appointment. I have actually asked my guides and angels to slow down time so that I can get there, and I have actually arrived there at 1 o'clock. It's only taken me apparently 10 minutes to get there, and I've arrived on time when it shouldn't have happened. But I've done that before, and it works. It all goes back to your train of thought and the way you control things. I've spoken about the parking angel before now, and if you and lights and traffic lights, if you are late, if you're thinking, oh God, I'm going to be late for work, I'm going to be late for work, I'm going to be late for work, every single light you come across will be on red. You will have little old people walking across the path in front of you. The car in front of you will break down. Everything will stop you and make damn sure that you're late, because you are in that frame of mind, because you are thinking that. You're bringing it on, you're creating it. If you are calm, even though you know you're late, if you stay calm and think, I'm not going to be late, I'm going to be fine, I'm going to get there on time, every light will be on green, there'll be no delays, everything will be fine. You're not looking at the clock watching as you're getting there, thinking, oh God, I've only got 1 minute to get there, I've got 30 seconds to get there. You're not looking at the time, you're just thinking, I'm going to get there on time. You will get there on time, and I've done that quite a few times now, and it does work, and it is really good. Even if you're a little bit late, you're still it's taken you a shorter amount of time than it would have done, which is an impossibility, but it has happened, and it has happened to me, and it is about, I'm so glad that you know that you can slow down time. Time is an illusion, time is a man-made thing, and time has changed since. It's something to do with the Mayan calendar stopping back in 2012. That started to change things, that started to wake a lot of people up. The end of that particular calendar and time as we know it. Time isn't even correct and precise, because it's been, I think we're out on different dates or different times, depending on different calendars or different trains of thought and different civilizations from the past. We're actually out on time anyway. We all think we're on this timeline, which is past, present and future, and it's just in one direction. It's not. We can go back, we can go forward. We always have to live in the moment. This is why we're not to live in the past and think about the past, because the past can come back again. Time can change, and it's something I can't get into it because I'm trying to go through so much with you at the moment. And yes, if other days are not going well, you can lose time as well. So researching, do as much research. Your guides and your angels will research you to what you need to research and what you need to learn. But when they're getting too much, tell them to back off, because you have kids, you have a husband, you have a life as well. And you can't, I mean, I'm very, very lucky in the way it happened to me. And now that I'm on YouTube, obviously, this is what I do. This is helping people. So my research and my guides and angels telling me to go here, there and everywhere is helping everybody else as well. So it's all integrated into what I do now. But if you've got like a day job and you've got kids and everything else, you have to sometimes just say, can you please just slow down a little bit? And then there'll be other times when you feel like nothing is happening, or you're stuck, or you're, and just say to your guides and angels, I don't feel, if you're around at the moment, I am ready for more information. I am ready for more learning. I am ready to grow. And they'll bring it on, and they will do. It's about, you can control though how much they bring in. You know that you have to ask your angels for help. They won't come in, particularly once you are on the path and give you answers. You have to find them yourselves. But when they're trying to get through an urgent message through to you, when you're going through the dark night of the soul and the awakening, because there's dark stuff coming through as well, they have to come in and they have to go, wake up, listen to what we're saying. But later on, they will not invade you so much, unless you ask for the help, and they know that you're safe and you're protected and there isn't particularly any dark stuff coming in. They'll sort of leave, you need to ask them, you need to talk to them, you need to transmute your fears and your doubts to them. So, have I gone through everything? You do cover yourself in white light, so that's really good. The dreams that you're having is basically, the colours that the guy's wearing are all lower chakra colours. He's wearing yellow and red and that, which are your lower chakra colours. So he's coming from a dark place when he comes into your dreams. He is giving you that scary sort of persona and everything. Again, I have a dream every week where the guy that I was going out with, the Freemason guy, will come in. And he's either trying to kiss me, he's trying to offer me money, he's trying to get me to drink alcohol. And the dreams are very, very vivid. They're almost like deliberate thought forms that he has sent me, which I'm sure he has, because obviously with him being what he is, he knows he's awake. He knows magic. He knows things that can get to you. And they are also put there to split up twin flames. You will find a lot of twin flames will have a lot of interference and a lot of people coming into their lives, and trying to tempt them away with money and all sorts of things. But once you know what your path is and once you know you're true and what you believe in, that eventually stops as well. So, but every few weeks he will try. and he will come in and tempt me with all sorts of things, and every single time, because the dream is so vivid, and because I am very aware of what's going on now and know what's going on, I can literally, and I can literally turn round to him in my dream and almost control the dream. And the last one I had, he was offering me a big bottle of brandy, and trying to kiss me and that, and I turned around and just told him to, I said, F off. I said, right, back off, I've had enough. I took the bottle of brandy, I poured it down the sink in front of him, and there was a hurricane coming or something in my dream as well, and I just turned around to him and said, back off, because it's not working, and it doesn't work, and it never will work. I am with my twin flame, I want to be with my twin flame, you're not going to stop me, and I'm going to him now. And I turned around and ran off, and he'll try it every few weeks, but I'm up to the point now where I just turn around every time and just, no, stop, which might sound crazy to people who are not in a twin flame situation, or are not having dreams where sometimes other energies can come in. So the guy that's in your dream sounds like he's just somebody who's been put there to try and make you uneasy, try and make you scared. The colours that he's wearing are lower chakra colours. He's trying to invade your space, and it's up to you within those dreams, if you're conscious of them, to just turn around and say, you're not scaring me, back off, it's not happening, I know exactly which direction and which path I'm on. I don't want to go on the dark path, I want to be on the light path. I am on the light path. Because there will come a point during your awakening when they're both sort of vying for your attention, that you have a choice. You will have a choice of which path you want to go down. So it's up to you to choose that, you know, hopefully the light path, and go down the light path, and turn around to the dark path and say, no, thank you very much, but no, it's not happening. So I really hope this is helping. One last thing about your son. And your son's turning around and saying your voice is a vibration. He is very correct. Your voice is a vibration. He is very sensitive as well, and awakening or already awake, depending. And here I am trying to be stopped again. So we shall just ignore it and get through it. But this is what happens quite a lot, especially when I'm about to say something important. And that will be an awful message as well, probably, if they leave it. Right. And it's about my huskies, and looks like my huskies are finding somewhere, which is going to upset me a little bit, but it's also trying to get me off the path of helping you. So I will deal with that later, but you see how these things can happen. And I nearly forgot what I was going to say. So your son is very special. Your son sounds like he's already awake. Your voice is a vibration. Everything is a vibration. So you need to keep positive around him. Keep your voice light, full of love, full of sincerity, because he is very sensitive to the vibrations that are happening around him. And he sounds like he's only little as well. And a lot of the babies that are being born now, a lot of the tots, the younger ones, are already awake. My daughter's starting to wake up. She has moments of being awake and then she'll go back to sleep. But you can see the clarity when it comes through, and she'll sit up and go, oh, what's happening? And then she'll just go back to sleep again. But it's happening more and more. So keep as much love and compassion around him as you can. He is very sensitive to your voice. It is a vibration. Everything works off a certain vibration. Our voice is a vibration, and obviously when we hear words, it's just the vibration being decoded and put into words so that we understand it. But he obviously understands vibrations as well, which is something that you will come to learn as well, and we all do. I did mention when I sent you back in an email to listen to alpha and theta brainwaves, because a lot of the programming in this world is done on lower brainwaves. They put out in the music, don't let him listen to music, certain pop things. They put out a certain vibration, which is a lower vibration, which they want you to stay at. Yeah. And these are done through certain brain waves, which when they're not visually trying to program you, they will do it through music and sounds, and to a certain amount we've got this certain thing which is sending out certain vibrations and waves around the globe, which has an effect on our feelings and on our emotions and the way we think. So the lower that we can keep us, the better it is for them, because they keep us in prison, they keep us asleep, they stop us from realizing that we're being programmed and we are in a matrix. So keep things as light as you can with them, with him, because he's very beautiful and he's very special, just as you are. You're not crazy, you are going to get through it, things are going to get better for you. I went through it, and I was probably one of the last people you'd think that could have got through it and come out the other end and get strong and get to the point where I am now, and still go forward. Because once you realise what your path is, there is no getting you off that path once you recognise for what they really are. So I really hope this helps. It's about control. Ooh, it's about controlling all of your thoughts, and knowing how amazing you are and knowing how brilliant you are. And also I realise that my energies are very high at the moment, and the speed of my camera film is not quite matching up to what I'm saying. So when you watch this, there will be points where it all goes weird, and it's not being kept up with, because that's time messing about. Because there is nothing wrong with my computer. It's happened the odd time when I've put angel messages out, but when something really important has happened, sometimes I'm trying to keep up with my own reflection now in the camera, and it's not going to work. It will, and I'm out of sync with the time thing, and that's my that is actually my emotions and feelings, because I'm getting very worked up, because I'm so passionate about what I'm saying and trying to help you and trying to get you into a calmer state. I'm actually building myself up a little bit and getting very excited. This is the sort of feeling I was getting when I managed to turn on all the fairy lights behind me, or when I blow fuses, and when my Skype goes crazy. It's the way I feel now. So apologies. There is not a lot I can do, but it happens. So namaste, keep in touch, try and stay as normal as you can about your husband at the moment, stay positive, which I know that you do try to do most of the time, and it will get easier. It will get easier once you start to recognise and know that you have to learn what the messages are that your guides and angels are telling you, and the bad stuff that's happening, ignore it. Do not pay it any attention whatsoever, and don't worry about it. You are in control. You are in control of that, and you can stop that from happening. Okay, so I'll get this sent off.